Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Free Thought Forum brought to you by the friendly folks at Pennsylvania Nonbelievers. Today is the 26th of June, the fourth Tuesday of the month, and our regular time, the regular bat time, regular bat channel here. Tonight's topic will be free will. We'll be getting to that later. My name's Doug Diggens, you see on the screen, and my co-host for tonight is Jen Flora.
Hi, everybody.
We only have to give one little announcement here. It's just a reminder for everyone that on the 30th of June, we will be having our summer solstice picnic at the Pinchot Park, just outside of York, at 2 p.m. You're all invited to come, and the only thing that we have to insist upon is that there are no alcoholic beverages because they probably will have the alcohol police there coming by the park. I turn the show over to Jen at this time for some additional comments.
Yeah, we had some current events going on, and I just wanted to let everybody know that yesterday, June 25th, marked the 50th anniversary of a Supreme Court decision that declared prayer in school unconstitutional. And this decision led to other key decisions, such as moments of silent prayer being unconstitutional and school-sanctioned Bible readings being unconstitutional. So yesterday was a pretty monumental day. Also, yesterday, the Supreme Court declined to hear an appeal from a California case which deemed that a cross, which was part of a Veterans War memorial, was unconstitutional. And if you're not convinced that religious tolerance is important and freedom of religion in this country is important, maybe this next case will help convince you. One of the founders of the Revolution Muslim website, yes, it was called Revolution Muslim website. This is a website that was used to encourage violence against those considered to be enemies of Islam.
Well, infidels.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was sentenced to close to 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to using the organization's internet site to conspire to commit murder and other offenses.
So it wasn't just something simple.
Oh, no.
Like that.
No, it wasn't something simple.
It was a felony.
Yes, one of the things he did, his name is Jesse Curtis Morton, otherwise known as, and I'm not sure how to pronounce Muslim names, but Giannis Abdullah Muhammad. One of the things he said is he delivered threats to the South Park creator, the television show South Park, because they depicted Muhammad in a bear suit. So that was one of the things that they cited on there.
And the star, one of the stars of the show, which did the voices for various people, but I guess it was the cook. He made fun of Jesus and everything non-Islamic. When they did that, he got bent out of shape and he walked off the show because he said he couldn't make fun of Muhammad. Two-faced.
Well, anyway, the U.S. attorney Neil McBride said Jesse Morton sought to inspire Muslims to enrage in terrorism by providing doctrinal justification for violence against civilians in the name of Islam. The string of recent cases with ties to Mr. Morton demonstrates that he was very successful. So, a pretty dangerous person.
Well, probably, a lot of it was he was just reading some of the translations, you know, from their holy book, which basically says that, you know, you got to kill everyone that is an infidel, that's not a Muslim.
Yeah, and he obviously took that literally and started making threats. Well, I don't know if he didn't commit any murders, but he made a lot of threats, and also there's a lot of other things tying him to murders that were, or crimes that were committed.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at anything that's on the news nowadays, you don't have to commit a murder. All you have to do is orchestrate it, pay for it, be connected with it at all. Just drive the car to the and sit in the car for a murder for hire, and you're just as guilty as the person that pulled the trigger or swung the club.
That's true. That's true. Well, I tied this into freedom of religion, and this is why I say I agree with what U.S. District Judge Liam O'Grady said. Mm-hmm. He said there has to be religious tolerance in the world. There has to be freedom of speech. So, and basically that's what the creators of South Park were doing, and anybody else who might have a problem with any religion. They're just expressing, they're just using their freedom of speech to express how they feel. And in this country, that's legal. That's our right, and we should all value that right.
Well, no one has the right to demand respect and reverence for their religion.
That's true.
You know, I mean, if you believe in something, then everyone and anyone is allowed to make fun of you.
Yep, exactly.
So.
Well, another thing I found out, there was a recent Gallup poll done, which indicates that 54% would vote for an atheist president.
54?
54%.
Gosh, that's come up.
Yes, it has. And it's been below 50%, and this year it came up to 54%, so that is good news.
I can remember the first one I saw, it was something like about 30% that would vote for an atheist president.
Yep, so we're going up in the polls. Well, I mean, other Catholics, Jewish members, women, blacks, over 90% said they would vote for those people in those categories. Surprisingly, we have all this stuff going on with same-sex marriage. 68% said they would vote for a gay or lesbian president.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with that. Why would you oppose marriage but vote as a president? You know, I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I was really happy to see that at least 54%. It sounds, you know, it may sound like a low number, but that's really good. We're really getting up there.
The thing is that I think that it's in response to the things that have been done by, like, American atheists and atheists all over the place, slowly coming out of the closet, voicing their opinion, and shockingly showing that atheists are no different from anyone that believes in any other religion or creed or sect or whatever. I mean, we all have the same basic values. You know, we still love the kids the same way. You know, and yes, you get deviates, I guess you could say, people that deviate from that norm. But then again,
you're going to have that in any group you go into.
Any society.
Anybody's going to do that. So, well, and just if we don't mind leaving America for a little bit, in Egypt, Egypt voted for had their first democratic election, and voted in Mohammed Morris of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, people are a little skeptical. The Muslim Brotherhood, they don't have a very good track record. You know, history proves them to be. People are very skeptical on this. Now, Mohammed Morris's platform was he was going to uphold the international agreements, and he was going to protect the rights of the citizens, including women, children, Christians, and Muslims.
Yes.
And in fact, I just, before coming in, I looked it up, and CNN issued a report that Morris was going to appoint a woman as one of his vice presidents.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
And a person who identified as Christian as another.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to watch what goes on in that country.
It is nice to see people that think out of the box, that really also think ahead. And are not looking just at themselves and previous administrations. They really do want to take steps, and even if it's just baby steps, just keep on inching forward. And that's what we need now to make people aware. And
well, we're hoping he sticks to his platform promises and doesn't break them or anything. I mean, that would be a good thing to see go on in Egypt. So we'll have to continue to watch them and see what happens.
Even CNN said that they were taking a wait and see approach now, but they feel good about him. So that it's faint praise, but
yeah. Well, interestingly, I was watching one of the news stations, and they were out in the square, and all these enthusiastic people, so excited that he was elected. And so one of the reporters went up to one of them and said, "Well, how do you feel about this? Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, what if he doesn't come through? What if he's not coming through with what he says?" And the enthusiastic spectator says, "Oh, he would never lie."
Right.
A politician would never lie. There you have it.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
They ought to bring some of those politicians over here, because we need politicians that won't lie.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to watch. And I mean, lastly, this is just something that has to get mentioned. We have to let you know about it, just in case you're living inside a box. Yes, the Sandusky trial is over. He was.
Yes.
He had 45 of the 48 counts.
Yeah.
He was found guilty of 45 of the 48 counts that were brought against him. So he is right now in prison.
Under suicide watch.
Under suicide watch, yes. I mean, well, after being free for he's 60 now, after being free for 60 years and getting away with everything for who knows how long.
Yeah. What always got me was when they showed the pictures of him going into court and coming out, he'd always have that silly smirk on his face.
Yeah.
And I thought, I have a feeling that you're going to not be smiling when they when they hand down the decision.
Well, I enjoy watching the news about it too, because instead of just handing us the news and letting us know the verdict, they were very dramatic about it. Mm-hmm. Here's Sandusky pulling up to the courthouse in what will be probably his last time getting into a car as a free man. It's like they had to be very dramatic. Everything, they had to add that drama to it, so everyone was just gripped at the end of their seat,
Oh, yeah, and plus, look how much ahead of time they started the news. They said, "Oh yes, the verdict was just handed down, and now we're going to take you to the courthouse." And then the people are out there. "Oh yes, we expect Sandusky at any minute here." And now let's switch to wherever Sandusky was saying, and they said, "Oh yes, we see Mr. Sandusky getting in the car right now, and he's driving off, probably on his way to the court." I said, probably he'd better be on the way to the court.
Exactly. Yeah. It was hilarious. I mean, 20 minutes, a half hour before he even gets to the courthouse, we're all watching in anticipation, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, And we're not even allowed in the courtroom. We might as well have been.
Yeah, I'm biting my fingernails. I'm in such suspense. I'm just sitting there in anticipation. emancipation.
I think we all expected something to come out of it too. We didn't expect him to come out a free man, you know. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had to be guilty. It was necessary so he wouldn't have riots. I think that they had to find him guilty of something significant, and from all the testimony they had of the people that were his victims.
yes, and then his adoptive son coming forward and saying, you know, that he was abused as well.
Yeah.
That really hurt. That really hurt him. He
Yeah.
wasn't able to defend himself on the stand after that. His lawyer didn't want to put him on the stand. So that, you know. But
Well, it's in a way, it's. I'll say it's over, but it isn't really over. They're going to drag this on longer than they dragged on OJ, for crying out loud. And what's her name? The woman there that allegedly killed her child and couldn't find it. What is it? And she was living the high life and going out and dancing.
Yeah, I don't remember her. That was, I think, in Florida or something like that. I remember that case. Yeah,
and
that'll go on and on.
Her parents were, all caught up in it, and they just involved everyone.
And if we're really lucky, we'll have a new novel coming out. He'll be able to be a rich man in jail because he'll be able to write a novel about all of this, right? And people will rush to the bookstores to buy it because we all want to read about what criminals do.
You know, I heard somewhere at some time that they were trying to pass a law, or they had passed a law in some states where it was actually illegal for someone to do that, to write a book and to profit from a crime that they had committed.
See, that's a tough call too, because I mean, they have a right to write a book, and especially if they're out of jail, they have a right to seek a publisher. Mm-hmm. My problem is, who are these people that go and buy the book and support them?
Yeah.
That's my problem. My problem is the people who go and buy the book and in support of this person.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if they want to write a book, we shouldn't let them profit from it. We don't need to. We shouldn't have to create any laws on that. We shouldn't let them profit in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to write a book, then they should take the money that would normally be made from that book and, give it to the victim or victims, families.
Yeah, that would be a good means of giving retribution to the victims of their crimes. That would be nice. That would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, but, then they wouldn't want to, write a book. What was it? O.J. Simpson. He wrote that book, If I Did It, or something like that.
He wrote a book?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Describing how he would have committed the murder if he had done it. And
he probably has firsthand knowledge on that.
Yeah, but they refused. I guess the publishers finally, out of pressure from the public, said, no, we can't publish that. I mean,
oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Poor OJ.
Yeah,
that's just sad.
My heart really bleeds for him.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. But before we got to our main topic, I had a comment I wanted to make. I had this interesting Facebook post that I read before coming here, and I mean, I just had to put it out there. Well, basically, the person who posted it was saying, why are the words vagina and penis bad? Why do we consider them bad words? Mm-hmm. We can't even teach our children that their anatomical parts are vagina or penis, respectively, girl or boy. And I even have a friend, she got a phone call from her daycare And they said, you know, your son came in and said a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, oh, what was that? He said penis. And she, you know, was stunned by this. I mean, just completely stunned. And, well, what would you have me call it? You know, well, you know, we use words such as wee-wee or...
Yeah.
And she says, well, then I feel sorry for you. You know?
Oh, she felt sorry for you.
Yeah, she felt sorry. I mean, I don't know why people have to come up with different names for it, but
Yeah.
I always, you know, when my kids were born, I have boys. You have a penis, and this is what you need to know, because if anybody ever went and touched you or did something, I want you to come and tell me where they touched you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to say they were touching my wee-wee. Well, what does that mean? They went into the bathroom and touched the toilet? You know, I mean, what are you talking about? Yeah, so I wanted to make sure.
It's a made-up name. A penis is what it is.
Yes, and I wanted them to let me know. So hopefully we'll be able to.
Okay. I guess he wants me to. The tablet?
We're getting messages.
No, it's in.
We have not mentioned the phone number yet.
No. Your tablet's in the shot. It was in the shot.
Okay. Well, even though I was mistaken, we are correct. This is a live call-in show, and the phone number is up on the screen. It is 717 area code 846-5067. This is a show that has a 7-second delay in it, which means that after you talk into the phone, you will not hear it on your TV for 7 seconds, and you will think that no one hears you or you're not getting through. So turn down the TV. It looks like we do have a call.
We'll see what happens with that.
In a second, I'll get you live on the air.
Hello, welcome, caller.
Good evening.
Could you talk into the microphone just a little bit?
I don't have a microphone.
Okay. Sorry, into the speak.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
We can hear you.
But then again, I'm half deaf anyway, so.
It was an interesting statement a young lady made regarding people having to make up different names for things regarding anatomical parts. Why is it you folks make up names for what you are?
I'm sorry. Why do we make up names for?
For what you do.
For what we do?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, the free thought form.
Yeah.
4 words to replace 1 word, atheist.
The atheist forum?
No, you caught your banner there that you have projected in front of your desk. Says the free thought forum.
Correct.
Which is 4 words to replace 1 word, atheist.
Well, we are atheists during the show, but on the Free Thought Forum, we just want everybody to be able to bring their thoughts into it. It's a free discussion. If you have a difference of opinion, and you're welcome to express with us. I have no problem bringing anyone on the show of any kind of religious background that would like to discuss with us why they believe and anything like that.
Yeah, over the years, we've had many callers in here of various religious persuasions, and.
Allow me to interrupt you and correct both of you.
Oh, it's not.
One here does not subscribe to any religions. Period.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
One here does not subscribe to any religions. Period.
Correct. We do not subscribe to any particular.
This one here, speaking now.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay.
Does not subscribe to religions.
Okay. And would you call yourself anything? I mean, I know, I think it was Sam Harris that, made a point, why do we have to call ourselves atheists? We don't believe in something.
I'm a man and a living spirit. Why would I call myself something else? That would only cause confusion.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
All of those individuals you were speaking about earlier that committed those heinous crimes, they were all non-believers.
Well, I really don't know what their religious persuasion was. They weren't necessarily non-believers.
I would venture to guess that most people that commit heinous crimes are not regular church-goers.
That I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure you'll find people who committed crimes that go to church, and you'll find people that committed crimes that didn't go to church. Some of them, are very faithful, and they're committing crimes because they believe that they are carrying out the work of their God.
But then again, too, there's also a provable statistic, and that is of all the people that are in federal penitentiary, only 2% claim to be atheist. Of course, if you find Jesus, that is going to get you out of jail earlier, and
claiming to be an atheist or not and attending church regularly is two different things.
Yes. Yes.
If you stop most people on the street and ask them if they're
do you believe in God?
If they're a Muslim or a Christian or something like that, they'll tell you that let's pick on the Christians. They'll say, "Well, I'm a Christian," and then ask them when the last time was they went to church.
Yeah, done that.
Two different things. What I said was I wasn't zeroing in on the religious aspects, but one would think that most people that commit heinous crimes are not regular churchgoers. These children that you see out here shooting up the community and selling their mothers and sisters and daughters and so on and so forth on the street are not going to church every week.
Oh, you don't think that they'd go to confession?
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, and again, a lot of the people we hear, if you're talking about big cities in York and all these young children, they are not. I mean, they might be in a home of believers where their God is mentioned or something about their religion is mentioned, but again, their lifestyle is so completely different. They've learned a different set of things. They've learned that survival is basically shooting the person next to you,
Well, they're learning things like that from these idiotic computer games and
the violent TV shows. I agree with you there.
And all those things are all atheist-driven sources.
Well, I don't know that they are atheist driven. But they would certainly give the impression that they are without the attributes of what religion claims to give you, like certain morals and values and everything. They definitely lack values.
You folks, I believe, claim to be atheists, and that doesn't mean you don't attend church. Correct one here if one is mistaken, but you're stating that you don't believe in a higher being than yourselves, a God. Is that correct?
That's correct. I don't believe. I don't think that there's any. I'm sorry. I'm like saying it all wrong. But there is no proof that there is a God. There's no proof that there's any higher deity. And I believe in a more humanistic approach. Excuse me?
Are you a mother?
Yes, I did mention I have children.
Yeah. And you can look into the eyes of those children and not think that there's a being that's higher than yourself, that's responsible for that child being in existence.
I mean, I don't believe that there's a God that gave me these children. I believe it was all done by genetics and by science. I mean,
and a husband too. He had a part in that.
Yeah, he did have a part in that one. But I mean, I look into their.
Are your children blessed with 2 arms, 2 hands, 10 fingers, 2 feet, 2 legs?
Normal, they're not.
They're not. They don't have any. You know, I mean, I have.
Birth defects.
No birth defects.
And,
or none that they would consider, hopefully. But I mean, I look into my kids' eyes and I see how important and wonderful life is. I don't see any higher being. I just see how wonderful life can be.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's about it.
When people ask me, don't you believe in God? My answer usually is, I do not believe in any biblical or scriptural description of a God and creator. Whether or not there is something that I don't know, I've heard that there are many things I don't know. At least I kind of gathered that because, you know, I've been called a dumbass a number of times, so I figure there must be something there that I'm not catching on to. But I don't know about the thing, and unless I get introduced to something, I don't wish to suppose, you know, and say, well, and also, why on earth would it, or whatever it is, need to be worshipped and adored, loved? And why on earth would that creator want to punish me for all eternity for insignificant and picayune stuff by the standard, I guess, of the universe? I mean, it's just a little piece of fly feces on your windshield, you know?
Well, you don't believe in a higher being, either one of you. But,
no. No.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a driver's license?
Yep.
We do.
Why do you have a driver's license?
Because if they stop me and I don't have it, I got to pay a lot of money.
Do you pay taxes?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Are those entities that you're requesting license from paying the fee and then paying other taxes, and those fees are just taxes?
Mm-hmm.
Are they a higher being than you are?
Are they a higher being than us?
No, they're just on the same treadmill as we are.
You're paying tribute to them, so you obviously recognize them as having some type of
a power over me.
Some type of a power or authority greater than yours.
Well, there are. I mean, you know, every time I go to work, there's someone above me. There's someone with more authority than me. That doesn't mean I worship them. They just have more authority over me. That's it.
One didn't ask you about worship. One asked you if you believed there was a being that was higher than you. Well, maybe a higher authority. I didn't say. I wanted to say worship. Say there's what you're doing when you're requesting that license, which is a permission to travel, and you were already given 2 legs to do that with, and you don't need permission to travel. But to travel in that manner, a being that's claiming to have authority over you is telling you must request a license and pay the tax. And you're yielding to that. And you're yielding to the...
Well, we yield to a lot of things over our lifetime. I mean, there's a certain order to things, and in order to fit in to the world, you have to recognize that people will have authority over you, and that you more or less agree to recognize that authority and to abide by what they say. You don't have to agree with it or like it.
No, one doesn't agree with you, because one here, anyway, one has no licensing, one pays no taxes to them, except through the commerce that one engages in. There's that the taxes can't be recouped from, you know, things like that. But other than that, one doesn't contribute to their
that's...
Well, thank you for your comments, caller.
Yes, we appreciate your call, and we'd like to get on with talking about free will.
Yeah.
And that driving comment actually was a perfect segue into it, because you know, you get into your car, you can make a choice on where you want to go.
Yeah.
You know, where...
Speaking of segues, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was great. And basically, free will is just the ability to make a choice without constraint. So I can get in my car and I can choose where I want to go, and I have to follow the rules to get there. And those rules are set in place so that I can hopefully get there safely.
Yes. And so hopefully other people will respect your right and be following the same rules.
That's right.
As you.
And but free will takes on a little bit of a different meaning when we get into the religious context of it. And there are so many different religions that have a different take on free will, aren't there?
Yeah.
I basically learned it as you have the choice to believe or not to believe, or accept Jesus or not accept Jesus. That's basically what I learned. However, if you make the choice not to accept Jesus, there is a consequence, a very negative consequence for that choice. I mean, so you have the free will to choose, but if you choose this one, it might not look too good for you, you know, in your lifetime and after you die.
So therefore, I mean, is it really free will if you are coerced by consequence? You can't say really that it's totally free will. I mean, yes, I can say I have free will to walk out into the middle of a busy highway, and but I kind of figure that I'm going to get hit by a car.
Yes, there could be very negative consequences to that. Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that I know that there is a danger to it, doesn't that kind of limit free, what we would call free will?
It seems to limit your choices when there's a negative consequence attached to a choice. That would limit your choices. I mean, if someone came to you, for example, in Snow White, if someone came to you with an apple, I have this red juicy apple, I know you're hungry, but if you eat it, you're going to be poisoned, you know, and you're going to die or you're going to fall asleep.
But they never told Snow that. They never told her. They tricked her.
Yeah, they tricked her. So unfortunately, she didn't realize the consequence. But if someone came up to you with that apple, what are you going to do? you're most likely going to say, well, I'm not that hungry.
Right.
You know?
You're going to make an excuse and get out of it. So especially if you know about the person that is giving it to you.
Exactly. Well, and you know, another choice, when we talk about religion, we talk about unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're supposed to have unconditional love, and God has all this unconditional love for us. But if you choose not to love him,
Mm-hmm.
well, you are not going to a very nice place.
No. You will be punished
So you're
for
being,
not loving him back.
Yes.
Yeah, the way he loves you.
So while you have a choice, I would, you know, you should really choose to love him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. Do you want someone to love you because they have to, or do you want someone to love you
Because they want to.
because they want to, because they do?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, do you want someone? I don't want anybody worshiping me, but I mean, do you want someone to worship you because they have to,
Mm-hmm.
or because they want to? They put you in
they
high.
really
They put
do
you in
have a
high
love for
esteem.
you.
You
Yeah.
know. You know, and when we talk about going out there and you choose to do volunteer work
Right.
to help out humanity, which is, you know, which is better? Is it better for you to just go out and choose to do it? Or are you doing it because you have to do good works? Because in order to do good works, then you know, you're good in the eyes of God, and then you're not going to go anywhere. So are you choosing to do that volunteer work because you want to help or because you have to help?
You know, it's funny. Whenever I've done volunteer work in the past, God has never entered my mind. God never enters my mind like that. A lot of people, the first thing that pops into their head when anything happens is God or Jesus. But if my plane is crashing, and I know this firsthand experience, it's going to sound ridiculous. I've got, okay, look, I better write a quick note here before we crash. And then I think to myself, okay, now where can I put the note so it'll survive?
The crash, that's right.
You know, and the thought of God being involved in it, it doesn't even enter my mind. Unless I hear someone in the seat over from me going, "Oh, Mother Mary, you praise, oh, pray for us now at the time of," and I'm going, "Shut up."
We're still on our way down, you know? The prayer's not working.
We still got time.
Yeah, instead of praying, they might want to just write their loved one a note, and as you are doing, try to figure out where to put it, because no one else is going to be able to tell them, you know?
Yeah, the first thing that popped in my head was, gee whiz, did I put the dishes in the dishwasher, and did I start it before I left? Because I didn't want them to go into my house and find dirty dishes. You know, and he's just not there.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't believe in him. It's like saying, do I believe in Harry Potter? Well, if I'm in a burning building, I'm more likely to think of Harry Potter than I would be of God or Jesus or any other deity.
Yeah. Or I might even be thinking of a way out if I'm in a burning building.
Oh, yeah.
That might cross my mind once or twice. You know, how do I get out of here?
Well, I mean, that they say that God helps those that help themselves. Be that as it may, if you sit around and do nothing, then and expect God to save you.
Yeah, opportunity doesn't come knocking at your door. It usually happens when people get out there, get their name out there, and talk to people. I love that particular phrase. God helps those who help themselves. Well, you know, when you're going out there and you're meeting people and you have all these connections, and then people are shocked by all the things that happen to them. Well, it's not a surprise. You have all these connections. People know you. People like you. You've been out there. You've been helping people. You've been doing things for people. They start to trust you. It's no surprise that you feel like you're getting all these blessings, but actually, you did all the work to get that. You did all the work.
Yeah, when they say, "Oh, God has blessed me," or "Jesus has blessed me," it really makes me wonder. You know, how? I mean, didn't I do anything? Or a doctor operates on a patient and saves them life. And it was Mary, Mother of God, that saved me, and because she interceded and asked God to spare my life. Of course, the surgeon had nothing to do with it.
I feel bad for many of our doctors out there who get no recognition at all. And the scientists that found the cures and that help these doctors do what they need to do.
Yeah.
They get no recognition for
all that they've done.
Exactly, for how you got saved.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes them look too humble. Oh, no. It really wasn't me that did it. It was God, yes. And don't thank me. Thank God.
Well, you know, and then we hear a lot of criminals out there. And no, I don't think there's a lot of... every criminal out there is not an atheist, because most of them out there is like, well, I didn't do it. God did.
Yeah.
You know?
They had something on the news there the other day where... guy claimed that God told him to do a particular thing. But let me ask you, why is it that back in biblical times, in order to escape punishment, all they had to do was just tell, I guess, the authorities that God had instructed him to kill his neighbor because his neighbor was evil. And, but today, and he would get off because God instructed him to do it. Why is it today that they realize that really is a bunch of BS? Like that, I mean, that excuse doesn't hold anymore. And if you say that God made you do something, right now, instead of letting you off, they'll send you to a psychiatric ward.
I was just about to say, sometimes lawyers have to, they have to really be careful, because they'll get a, non-guilty by reason of mental defect or something like that, because, obviously there's the mental defect if someone's hearing voices. So this person does not necessarily have to take responsibility.
Right.
And in the
suffer
past,
the usual punishment.
Exactly. Yeah. When they probably were of sound mind and body, but they just keep saying God did it, and they're just going to think you're a little bit delusional for hearing voices.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of delusional people in the world.
Don't we know?
We've had a few of them show up at our booths. Like on Mother's Day, they come in with a little cross hanging on the gold chain, and say, "You don't believe?" Nope. How can you not? Look around you at all the beauty. Yep. But what's that got to do with God?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and furthermore, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some people look at the city. People walk into the city and say, "Oh, this is disgusting. Why would anybody want to live here?" Other people look at the city, they look at the skyline, like, "Wow, how magnificent! How beautiful is this?" I mean, so yeah, there are things that are beautiful, but they're beautiful because that's how we see them. It's some people, volcanoes erupting, this massive force going on Earth, and people are saying, "Wow, that's beautiful." you know, and other people are just thinking, well, it's going to be so ugly. All you're going to see is all this black stuff when it's done. It's going to be gross.
Yeah, people might die because of.
But other people see that as a really beautiful thing.
Spectacular.
Yeah, something really good. It's all on how we view it, not because of God created it.
I think that today, in light of all the scientific discoveries that we have made, God's direct intervention is kind of dropping out of favor. You know, someone does not look at a volcano or an earthquake and automatically say that's the wrath of God because someone was on the Riviera wearing a bikini. You know, I mean, one of the religious leaders said that. That was a tsunami was caused because God didn't like women in bikinis, and I'm going. Oh,
yeah, so we have to punish somebody on the other side of the world, right?
Yeah.
You know, who has they're not wearing bikinis. It's way too cold anyway. But
yeah,
you know. But we got to punish them too. I mean, I think, now we see things as more natural disasters. However, there are still groups out there that believe that it's God telling us something.
One of the things, future shows that I want to get into, and possibly have like an astrophysicist or an astronomer on with me, that now that we realize the actual size of the universe, even though we can't really fathom how big the entire universe, I think that we are in a far better position to gauge something that is that enormous now than it ever was back in 3,000 years ago, when all they did was looked up and it looked like a canvas with little dots on it, and the universe was only this wide and everything, and now we look at everything that has been shown to us through the Hubble Space Telescope, and that's where I see beauty at some of the photographs that they have got. So what I wanted to do was get onto a show and explore how big would God have to be in order to create something as big as the universe.
That would be a very interesting show, and in fact, one of the reasons it's so interesting to me is my husband and I, we used our free will. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we freely decided to go to the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Is that what it's called? No, Museum of Natural History. I haven't put the American in there, but I think it's more Museum of Natural History. And the photographs we saw of the nebulas out there, and oh my gosh, we got home and wanted to put some of these nebulas in photographs and display them. They're just so gorgeous. I mean, it's just, wow, look at that.
But the thing is that you want to blow it up to a good size.
Now, do I think there was a creator? No. But scientists have becoming closer. They've been finding how it could have been created. They have many theories that tell us what's going on in these nebulas. It's just so fascinating.
So, I mean, at what point does, or how far back does creation begin, but reaction takes over? If I push a rock over the ridge of a hill Well, I caused the rock to move.
Right.
But after I did the initial push, then it will continue to go downhill, well, because of gravity. That really isn't the best way to describe it, but they say that the universe, has been expanding on its own, and everything that is a result of a form of evolution, whether or not it's an astronomical evolution or action or reaction to the thing. But you don't really need a God right there. And are words really magic? Is that all it takes? And say, okay, let there be light. So what did this God do? Were all the stars that he just created totally black at the time? And all he had to do was say, let there be light. And they all ignited their nuclear reactions, and they all went off.
It's very difficult to use a creator and that a creator created the universe, because then you got to figure out, how'd the creator get there?
Yeah, who created the creator?
What I learned at the museum is it was dark matter that exploded and just expanded the universe. And I'm not going to go into, well, how did this dark matter get there? Well, the point is it was there, and it exploded, and here we are now. And are we able to? How is there life on this planet? Well, they've been able to recreate the primordial Earth. They've been able to find how RNA and DNA and the building blocks of life,
amino acids and everything. Yes,
they've been able, and they also find that there was amino acids on comets.
Yes,
that struck the Earth.
Isn't that exciting?
It is.
Really, when you come right down to it. And there's water out there in space too that will have microorganisms in it. Well, why did a God need to do that?
Right.
It's got this stuff that's going throughout the solar system or throughout the universe. There's a couple of things here that I would like to mention, because it's winding down here to our last couple of minutes. Our next Free Thought Forum is on the 10th of July, which is a Tuesday, and also on the 24th of July. So it'll be the same bat time, same bat channel, WRCT, channel 16 in York. And we certainly hope that you will tune in. And don't forget that you can watch us on the internet.
And feel free to make any comments. Go to PANonbelievers.org. And feel free to make any comments on the show, anything maybe you'd like to hear on the show.
Yeah, we're open to suggestions. We want to hear what you would like to see, and what you would like to talk about.
And then maybe hopefully on that show you can call in and we can discuss your views and discuss our views. And
the website there is up on the screen.
That's our Facebook.
Yeah.
And so, you can go there, make your comments.
Yeah.
Like us.
We welcome it. And if you want to tell us we're going to hell, we've heard it many times before, and we haven't gone yet. So. So
you might want to save that comment.
Yeah. So how much time have we got left? 2, 1. We're off. Adios.